Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of a podcast, Career Journeys, Real World, Real Insights. I'm super excited to introduce our guest, the dynamic Amit Bansal. With over 14 years of experience, Amit is a seasoned business coach who has helped countless entrepreneurs and organizations reach their full potential. From crafting winning business strategies to building high professional performing teams, Amit's expertise is unparalleled. Beyond being a successful coach, he is also a best selling author and a motivational speaker who inspires people to dream big and achieve more. So let's give a warm welcome to Amit Bansal to share his career journey with the students, share with them the real world of work, the skills needed to succeed in one's career, the domain of his experience, the entry process, and the challenges and opportunities. With this, we welcome you, Amit, to the session.
Thank you so much, Sachi, for having me here. Really
To
looking forward.
start, yeah, thank you. To start with, we would like to know the audience over here. We have students mainly from grade 9, 10, 11, 12, few graduate, postgraduates. How did you choose your subjects in grade 11th? And what was the turn of events that happened after that?
Yes, my story of choosing my subjects is very interesting. I would really want to feel that instead of me choosing my subjects, the subjects chose me. I always intended to be a doctor since my father was a doctor. And I have a elder sister. She was pursuing medical and she used to work really hard. She was in grade 12th when I was in grade 10th. And after her grade 12 exam, she appeared for the MBBS entrance exam, and despite working very hard, she couldn't clear the exam. When her result came out, this was me telling myself, Ki Amit, if your sister could not do it despite working so hard, you are to not even that hardworking. How are you going to clear it? And that was the end of my medical journey. So I thought that day, no, I am not going to pursue MBBS and started looking for something else. So again, as luck would have it, my sister came back one day from her coaching institute where her mentors had told the entire class, about a new program that they were launching. That was about entry to engineering. And bus, she came back, talked to the family about it, and somehow me lending an ear to the conversation, thought ki if not medical, let's do it. And that's how I ended up becoming an engineer. To be very,
So,
that's the story.
right. So you ended it being an engineer accidentally, but MBBS was your dream. So do you feel, had you not heard of or your sisters like not getting into the MBBS, you would have tried it on because it happens. There are many students who don't work hard, but they
Hmm,
get it. They are smart.
hmm.
So do you feel you could have tried it out?
Yes, I really feel that were there somebody who had sit down with me and asked me why suddenly I changed my program of doing MBBS, because this was something that I told each and everyone, that I will become a doctor, I will become a doctor, entire life till 10th. So if somebody could have sit with me and made me understand that it's not necessary that a hardworking student not getting into the medical doesn't mean that anybody else who works hard will not also get into the medical field. Because see, there is a factor of intelligence also, and destiny also. I really believe in it. So probably even if me and my sister have the same intelligence, probably I would have destined to become a doctor in the first attempt. But seeing her rigor, seeing her failures, I couldn't muster that courage to go forward on that journey, and dropped out of that uh, journey. Ki no, I'm not going to become a doctor. Though next year she again appeared and she cleared the exam and became a doctor. But that first year of failure, it changed the course of my life forever. So yes, it's not about looking at others and changing your course.
So, two questions come in my mind immediately. One, now when you see doctors, do you feel like I also wanted to be there?
To be honest, not really.
Okay.
Not really. I believe that I would talk jokingly about it that I wanted to become a doctor,
Hmm.
but I do not feel aspiration uh, somewhere within me that जैसे वो कहते हैं ना कि काश मैं भी एक डॉक्टर बन जाता, ऐसा
Ah,
कुछ आई डोंट फील, honestly speaking.
so you are on the right track.
I feel wherever I am today, I am more than happy.
Right. My second question was the students nowadays, as you said, you needed someone who can come and talk. Now, also, do you feel students need that support that someone can go and talk to them?
I believe now more than ever is it required, because in the olden days, when I say older days, when I talk about myself, when I was in 10th, there were not many people uh, who would put you down. If you look around yourself, your family, you used to live in a joint family then. Now more there are nuclear families. The pressure, the peer pressure was comparatively lesser at that time. People were more happy go lucky. It was not the era where there was so much campaigning in your face through reels and social media, right? So our minds are more impressionable these days as compared to the times that I did my plus one, plus two in. So I really feel that now is rather more important for people to seek guidance and counseling on what their future should be like.
Right. So now the requirement of counseling for the students is more than what it was earlier, due to change in the family pattern, and then due to change in the number of options available, and due to change in the internet and the other awareness areas also there. Do you feel that there is a particular grade or age at which it should start, or it's okay to get it done after 11th standard or 10th standard?
See, with my experience of dealing with children, I can say that the right age to start navigating the right career option is around 8th standard, right? Uh, and I only talk about navigating, coming to a, uh, let's not say it a decision,
Mhm.
but trying to figure out your options is the
Right.
8th standard. And then 9th standard is the time where you should uh, make headways into the journey, ki whether this is the right thing for you to do. And 10th is where you should have logged it. There should be no ambiguity, no doubt in your mind by the end of probably the first semester of 10th, what you are going to do with yourself, with your life, and what career option do you want to have.
So
It should be.
basically, yeah. So basically, exploring different careers, trying what all is available can be done in eighth, and then identifying themselves, finding out what they like or not. They can just do it in ninth, and they can start talking to people, visit the areas where these work roles are happening. And 10th, by the time their boards come in, before that, they can lock in that after 11th, 10th boards, they want to go into this field. Is that the right way?
I believe so.
Right. Many students nowadays are going for engineering integrated batches, then medical integrated batches. And you have been an engineer, you have gone through it. Your sister is a doctor. Do you feel this way of taking integrated classes is better than regular school classes?
If you're very clear on what you wish to do, and if you are, if it is your opinion, your choice, then it's good. But if you are still trying to find out what is the right thing for you to do, keep your options open. Don't go for an integrated course, is what I would suggest.
Right. So students can first take up 8th, 9th, 10th route to explore, to finalize, and then they can decide 11th, 12th what to do.
See, till 10th, though, I would never suggest anyone
Mhm.
that they lock in their career, come what may. You know, you would see kids, they would come up to you one day after the school and they will say, okay, Papa or Mama, I want to become a pilot. After a few days, they'll come up to you and say, I know I want to become a cricketer.
Mhm.
And after next month, they will say, oh, you know what? My teacher was telling us about astronauts. Now I think that I wish to drive a spaceship into the space. So 10th, up to the 10th, the time, the life is more of a uh, searching for the right destination in your life. So don't lock on anything. Keep your options open. I would give you an example of my daughter only. She is an ICSC student. So in ICSC, they want you to choose your field after 8th standard, right? So though she is very, very interested in becoming a chartered accountant, but I told her not to close the options and still take science also as a subject in 9th and 10th. Because if she has done science and maths both in 9th and 10th, all her options are open in plus one, plus two. Because you never know, something might happen with some stroke of luck or misfortune. You never know, you change your opinion. And if you have not done the prerequisites of any field, then you're left with no options but to choose something from the limited options that are now available. So till 10th, keep everything open.
Right. So students can stay open, keep exploring. And then even if they feel like, no, I want to do this, I don't want to do this, they should be free to change their mind and go and try it out.
Yes. Please keep on doing a need assessment for yourself. Every
Yes.
6 months, you must do it once you are lock in on something.
That's a nice sharing by you, Amit. We would also like to know from you, during your engineering, like what was the academic learning that happened in the institute as an engineering student?
Unfortunately, I would say our education system provides us with a lot of bookish knowledge, especially in the professional degree category, be it medical, be it non medical, or anything else. When it comes to talking about what I gained from the engineering college, I would say is the mindset. No doubt, engineering colleges kind of develop that attitude in all the students of being a problem solver, being a go getter, always rushing against time, facing with a lot to do in a limited time, which these are things which I feel hold you in good stead in life. But if you ask me, ki, okay, Amit, if you are an electronics engineer by qualification, could you have done anything meaningful in the electronics field the day you moved out of the college? The answer would be no, right? The answer would be no. The only thing is that, let's say I landed up a job with a good company and they had to train me on what I was supposed to do with the company. I would have been, aware of certain terms that they would be talking while training. That's the only thing I could have gained from the engineering, nothing else. It's like uh, doing, to simplify it, doing commerce, becoming a chartered accountant, and when you go to actual becoming an article with some CA, you know what debit credits are, but you can't make the balance sheets. So that's the same story. Ki if I went to a firm, a company, and they wanted to train me, I would have known what transistors are, what ICs are, what chips are, right? But how to really use them was not told to us.
Yeah. So as you rightly said, there was theoretical knowledge available, but practical was missing. But the something you learned was the right mindset.
Yes, right.
Do you feel nowadays also the same thing is happening in the engineering institutes, or by any chance are you aware if the trend has changed?
See, in my experience of talking to my students, till I would say 2018, 2018 or 2019, the story still is the same. There might have been certain improvements, but not the wholesome improvements that are required in our education field. No doubt the government is trying its best to make changes and amendments in the education field, but India is a huge state with a lot of dynamics, a lot of challenges, and even with the best of the people, with the best of the intentions, any change that they wish to initiate will take a lot of time to set in place. So, with the new education policy and things like those, I believe these are steps in the right direction. But we still are to, we will have to wait to have the concrete results of these steps and see if they really benefit the generations to come.
Right. So visible changes are yet to come, and actionable practical learning is yet to happen in most of the higher education colleges.
Yes.
Would you like to share how you entered into the coaching industry and made it your empire?
Okay. So I'll just like to ask whether you're talking about educational coaching institutions that I used
Mhm.
to run earlier, or are you
Right.
talking business coaching realm that I'm in now?
First, we'll learn from you your educational empire, and then we'll go to the business empire. First, starting with education.
Right. So now that is a very interesting story, I would say. So after my graduation, my BTech in Electronics and Communication, I was preparing for my CAT exam. I cleared the written exam and I was due to appear for the interview part. Around though that time only, my sister's marriage got fixed. And as is with the case with all Indian families, और उस समय इतना loans and everything का भी चलन नहीं होता था.
Mhm.
So we were left with only one option that we could choose. Either I could do an MBA or we could marry my sister off. So obviously Indian society, so we went for the second option. We got her married, but that was the end of my dream of pursuing an MBA. But during the time I was preparing my for my MBA, I had started taking classes, tuition classes. I used to teach my juniors also in my college, and teaching was something that I always adored. Not from my childhood, but since my college days. I used to find some kick in it, right? So I started taking some classes to support myself as I lost my father at a very, very early age when I was 8 only. So I did not want to be a burden on my families that, okay, already they had, you know, uh, they had made so much uh, expenditure on me becoming an engineer. I don't want to, be dependent on them forever. So while I was preparing for MBA, I started taking classes and I was doing good in that. 3 to 4 hours I used to take classes, and that was more than sufficient to support myself and also give something at home. So when the dream of doing the MBA did not go through, I went to Delhi, being an electronics and communication engineer and being from Punjab, where apart from Mohali, there were not many companies in the electronics realm. So I went to Delhi. Ki, let's see and look for a job in in my field. I was looking and interviewing for the jobs, but nowhere I could get a job for more than 3,000, 3,500 bucks a month. Now I had to maintain two houses. One, my rented accommodation at Delhi where I was living, the meals and everything I had to take care of. And also I wanted to support my family. So I had to send something back home as well. Right. So in the meager salary of 3,000, 3,500, I couldn't do both. So these were the jobs I did not accepted. Right. So 2 months passed by. And then I thought, ki, this is not going anywhere. Already, I don't want to become a burden on the family, but here I am doing the exact same thing, being in Delhi for 2 months and not being able to crack a job. So I started looking for some tuition opportunities in Delhi, right? And by the grace of God, I got an opportunity within 2 days. That was an evening batch. I looked for an advertisement in the newspaper, went to them, met them, interviewed, and I was selected. And I started with the job the second or third day, I believe. I did that for a month, and also parallelly I kept doing and giving the interviews also. After around the end of that month, one fine night, not day, one fine night, while I was trying to sleep, it just dawned upon me, ki, what are you doing, Amit? You are still doing the same thing in Delhi that you used to do in Ludhiana, right? Then why are you wasting your money in Delhi? Why do you want to stay here? You are alone here, your mother is alone there, and you are maintaining two houses, right? Then do you really find any fun in this thing? And trust me, Sachi, people don't believe when I tell them this. This was the night I was thinking the things. It was about 12:30, and by 4 a.m. I was on my bike, packed my stuff, or everything packed behind on the bike, and I was on my way back to Ludhiana. And I bought the bike just 25 days earlier only from Ludhiana because I had to go to, that coaching thing. So at 4 a.m., everything done and dusted, everything. There was one friend of mine who was living with me. I told him कि भाई मैं जा रहा हूँ, just let me know मेरे हिस्से का क्या मुझे देना है इस month का, but I am no longer staying in Delhi. So he was also shocked because I wake him up from his somber sleep. And immediately after he got up, this is the first thing I told him: I'm going back to Ludhiana. This was the first sentence that came out of my mouth: I'm going back to Ludhiana. And he was like, he was just, trying to rub his eyes while waking up, and his eyes suddenly popped out. ये क्या बोल रहा है? क्या हो गया तेरे को? So things like that. So, but this is the fact that by 4 a.m. I was on my way back to Ludhiana because my life, as we will discuss further also, it always have been like this only. If I decide, I decided then and there only. I take a lot of time sometimes in deciding, but once I get the why and how of something now, then I cannot be stuck in that journey, which I am feel that I'm not, that is not going any. That's how I came back to Ludhiana, contacted my students, those who were I was teaching while I was preparing for MBA, and immediately I had a good track record with them, and immediately the next day I started again with them because they were all like कि हाँ हमें पढ़ना है आपसे. uh, that day, and by the grace of God, worked very hard, worked with the most of the top names in the city, uh, all the biggest of the business owners, entrepreneurs of Ludhiana. Their children have been my students. I always jokingly say that there is a time now in the Ludhiana industry that every MD of every big company has been my student at some point. That was the stage, and that is true today. All the major HODs of DMC and CMC, these are the two main hospitals in Ludhiana. Unke bacche, they were my students. So we have had the distinct pleasure of being partners in the MBBS journey of more than 500 students. So they are doctors in place today in different hospitals. So by the grace of God, earned a lot of fame, and by 2012 we had started working overseas also in online mode. So that's how I entered the education industry. And to talk about how I entered the business coaching industry, it is always about the kick. Yeah.
Yeah, before that, I want to say that you are actually the name you have written for your business, Action Taker. So you
Yeah.
are an action taker.
Yes. When I decide something, I take quick action on it.
And students need to be inspired by you, like because nowadays we see students are not able to cope up in the engineering colleges, they commit suicide, they don't get shortlisted in a particular institute, or they didn't clear the entrance exam, they commit suicide, or they went into depression. They need people like you to come up and talk to them.
Always there for anyone who wishes to get in touch and talk to me. Always there for any one of them. Thank you so much for that acknowledgement, Sachi. And now, how I moved to the coaching industry. Uh, it was again quite unexpected, but as Steve Jobs said, looking back, everything makes sense, and you can connect the dots. So while I was running my educational coaching institute, I realized that my true potential was not just in teaching the concepts, technical concepts, but I wanted to help people unlock their potential and achieve their goals. Once one of my friend approached me and asked me that his brother wanted to start in the coaching industry realm, and he sought some advice for me on that. It was about the year 2016. So it was 16 years since I was into the education coaching industry. I told him कि okay, he is a very good friend of mine. Otherwise तो होता है लोगों को कि नहीं competition है and every all that stuff. Though I never believe in competition in that sense, I feel that there is abundance for everyone. But I told him कि okay, no issues. आप उसको भेजिए मेरे पास. So I talked to him, told him everything that needs to be taken care of. Also told him about a lot of things that we failed at and what not to try, what can be avoided, how to speed up his journey. And he kept on seeking my advice. He kept coming back to me over a call or meetings whenever he got stuck somewhere. So within 6 to 7 months, I believe that his educational institute was up and running and doing good. So one fine day, my friend, when we were sitting together, he told me, Amit, you should seriously think about becoming a coach for businesses. So I told him कि his name is Aman. I told him, Aman, ऐसा नहीं है. See, you asked me to help with something that I have been doing for the last 16 years. I have done everything, right? The wrong, and in betweens. So I could easily help your brother. But if I start in this realm, people would be asking me a lot of questions, right? So I won't be able to answer them. So he told me one thing which was very, very profound and had a great impact on me. He said, Amit, जानना एक बात है, किसी को बताकर उससे वो करवा लेना ये दूसरी बात है. And not many people are able to do it. So again it got me thinking कि बात तो कहीं ना कहीं सही है कि चाहे मैंने वही चीज बताई जो मैं करता आ रहा था, बट स्टिल उसको वो चीज मैं कनेक्ट कर पाया और वो पॉइंट पुट अक्रॉस कर पाया मैं, तो कहीं ना कहीं शायद यस. आफ्टर अ वाइल सर्टन पीपल ऑल्सो, माई स्टूडेंट्स जो थे, जो पास आउट हो जाते थे, sometimes they also came up to me asking for advice, right? So as I helped them navigate their challenges, so I discovered this whole new world where I could apply my problem solving skills in a more impactful way. So from there I pursued more formal training in business coaching, and I've never looked back since. And it is also about more about again having that passion. It was also around that time that I no longer was finding any passion in teaching, because same thing doing over and over and over again for the last 16 years. I could even tell कि सीबीएसई की किस बुक के कौन से पेज के कौन से पैराग्राफ में लेफ्ट साइड पे के राइट साइड के किस लाइन में, थर्ड लाइन में के फोर्थ लाइन में क्या लिखा हुआ. मतलब to that point it was so boring. It was so monotonous for me. And I also had started delivering a few trainings to people. And one day I was returning from Jalandhar after delivering a training session where I talked about chasing your passion. And while I was driving back, again, you won't believe this thing. While I was driving back, it suddenly again hit me कि अमित, तू जो अभी बोल कर आया है, क्या तू खुद फॉलो कर रहा है? Are you chasing your passion? You no longer have any passion in education, but you still are doing it for money. ठीक है ना? अगर वाकई ही you talk about passion, so if you walk the talk, then it should be you first who should start following your passion. And that was the day when I came back. I was totally decided this is something that I wish to do. I started in trainings first and then into coaching. Right, so trainings में मैंने पहले वो किया because again that was something somebody asked me to deliver something on as a training session, and लोगों की appreciation that gave me a lot of kick. वाह, मतलब लोग वाह यार मजा आ गया, मजा आ गया. And I was like, देखा यार आज तो मैंने कुछ अच्छा किया. तो that kick that I got, I wanted to have that because बच्चों से तो appreciation और उनके पेरेंट्स से तो appreciation लेते आ रहे हैं 16 साल से, लेकिन एडल्ट्स से उनको कुछ बता के अप्रिसिएशन लेना अपने पीयर से, वो एक समथिंग डिफरेंट. सो दीज वर द 2-3 फैक्टर्स: बीइंग मोनोटोनस इन माय एग्जिस्टिंग करियर, wanting to come clean on the walking your talk criteria, and thirdly, no longer having a passion for something that you were doing and rather wanting to pursue your passion is what made me enter the training uh, fraternity first, and then coaching, for which obviously I did a lot of certifications also, because जब आप कुछ कर लेते हैं, किसी चीज को डिसाइड कर लेते हैं, then you need to certify yourself for that also. It's not about just the certificate but also with the education, the learnings that come along with those certifications and application of those learnings. So yeah, that's how I entered business coaching then.
Right. So you were actually mindful of what you were doing throughout rather than living a mechanical life. And you were taking actions and you were also getting into next steps like getting trained and certification so that you can start up a new venture.
Yes, once I have decided that I want to shift, then I started taking certifications also.
Right. Would you like to share with the people over here, the students, the parents, what are the areas or topics you generally cover in your training sessions or you used to cover before entering into coaching?
I generally talked about topics like leadership, time management, goal setting, then conflict resolution, communication skills, public speaking skills, uh, and any topic that could help people in general or a company's staff to become more productive. These were the topics that we used to cover in training sessions.
So these are generally for the people who are already into the workforce.
These topics hold good for anybody, everyone. Well, even
Students,
yes, we do these topics for college students also, and especially the final year students who are just going to enter into their work life. So we do a lot of time management sessions, goal setting sessions for them, and also then we have interview skills, how to present yourself, how to crack the interviews. These are also some of the things that we do for our clients, you can say, or students, you can say.
right. So if students or anyone working needs guidance on these areas, they can connect with you anytime. We would also like to know about your entry into the coaching industry. This was training and then you went into the coaching. So what are the areas you feel are people should know about your coaching industry?
What are the areas people should know is your question?
What is the work profile or what is the work you carry out? How does your work looks like from morning to evening?
Okay. So as a business coach, we support people in their business journeys. In our country, there is one huge problem. You would train to become a cricketer, you would train to become a hockey player, you will study to become a doctor, right? But there is no formal education for becoming a business owner.
Yes.
Okay. And trust me, MBAs do not fill that void. Again, they are more theoretical, less practical. Okay. Even if someone has done the MBA, so how to translate those learnings into practical aspects is a challenge for everyone, right? So business coaching is a must for anyone who is looking to enhance their business skills, take their business to next level. We help people overcome roadblocks in their business journey, in their entrepreneurial journey. And you know what? When you are an entrepreneur, when you are a business owner, sometimes you are unable to see very evident things that are problem makers in your business. So when a business coach steps into your business, they help you see those blind spots that are otherwise very common things, but you have overlooked them. When they say thinking outside the box, what they
Right.
basically mean is that you need to take yourself outside the box and then look at the situation. But an entrepreneur is seldom able to detach himself from the business and look it from outside the box. So
Mm.
business coaches fill that void. We step into a business and start and help them look at their business from a different eye. And when we step in, we start advising them, start coaching them. Then they start looking at things and they would then say, oh, ye to kitni common cheez thi, why had I not considered it till date?
Right.
So it's very obvious, but why did I not do it? So making you see things is one thing, and holding you accountable to achieve those things is other thing that a business coach does. So a typical work day for me would be having 2 to 3 sessions with my clients, which are about hour and a half or 2 hour long sessions, right? These can be general educational sessions where we just educate them about the right way to do business, or these can be the sessions where we discuss with them the roadblocks in their business कि अच्छा ये problem आ रही है तो what we should do. Okay, and coaching always has that premise of the fact that our coachee knows everything. We are no one to tell them anything. They already know everything. If you are my coachee, then Sachi knows everything. I just have to make her see those things within herself and or find those things out by herself rather
Right.
than me telling her ki ye kar. You know, when I tell you to do something, that is consulting. When I make you see that thing which is otherwise very evident, that is coaching. And that is what coaches do.
So you become a facilitator and help them to find out the answers of all the whys they have and make them think and then implement their own actions.
Yes, true.
Does it happens for both online and offline coaching businesses? Sorry.
Yes, it happens for all kinds of business of all sizes. And the coaching in itself happens mostly in online mode.
Yeah. And another question was the people who want to enter into the field of business.
Mhm.
Does it happens for them also, or only the established ones, those who have lived a particular that starting ka phase and finalize ki what product or service they want to sell?
No, we work with startups also. And right from the point of conceptualization to finding their niche, to finding the right product, and how to make it the right market fit, even to help them find the funding for their projects, investors. So we help at every stage.
So are you associated to any of the incubation centers?
Yeah, I recently have been onboarded with the Delhi's Angels Den, which is a startup mentoring network. And we have mentors, investors, and all kind of people that can help people in their startup journey at various points. They all are empaneled with this network, and we as a community are looking to help more and more startups gain feet.
Students these days, the moment they complete their 10th 12th, they feel like now they don't want to study further. They
Hmm.
say I want to have a startup. Do
Hmm.
you recommend students should go for it, or do you seek along with startup you can go for your education, or it can be only startup and no education? What, which way out of the three based on experience?
To be honest, there is no right or wrong answer to this question, right? Uh, what I'm sharing is totally my perception, okay, and by my experience. That's totally my experience. It is not the right or the wrong answer. Some people might be able to relate with it. Some people might feel offended and will give you examples कि नहीं देखो उसने ऐसा किया, बिल गेट्स ने ऐसा किया, एलन
Mhm.
मस्क ने ऐसा किया. So it's not about them. ठीक है? Yes, there are aberrations, there are exceptions, but there are thousands and lakhs of people जिनकी कभी स्टोरी और एग्जाम्पल नहीं बनती है, who have wasted their life. I always feel, and again, disclaimer, this is totally my perception and my experience. Education, a basic level of education is very, very important. When I say basic level of education, I mean the graduation. A graduation is the must for everyone. अब आप इसको कैसा करते हो? While you do your business, you do it side by side in the correspondence, like I did my MBA later on. ठीक है? और you do it in a regular manner कि पहले मैं education खत्म करूंगा, then I'll start working on my business. That is entirely up to you, your circumstances, and the support that you have from your family or people around you. But not all startups, not all businesses flourish. Not all startups see the light of the day. But if you have a basic level of education, you know, you can do a lot of things to support yourself even if your startup fails. But अगर आपने startup कर लिया जल्दी एज में बिना पढ़ाई किए, and unfortunately if it doesn't work out, what is the plan B for you? I know people here also give me a lot of examples of quotations like burn the bridges behind you and all that stuff. But that is why I said this is totally my perception, my experiences, that you should have a basic education to fall back upon in case of any eventuality. And also education, जैसे मैंने आपको पहले बताया, मेरे केस में भी टेक्निकली शायद उसने मुझे इतना साउंड नहीं किया, बट माइंडसेट मेरा बहुत अच्छा बनाया उसने, राइट? सो माइंडसेट तो आपका बनता ही है इफ यू गो फॉर एजुकेशन.
So education clubbed with life skills, clubbed with mindset, clubbed with your calling, whichever is coming, and you should be ready to take actions rather than thinking about the people around you.
Yes.
Right. That was a nice sharing, Amit. Another question we have is, if someone is looking to enter into the field of coaching, what advice do you have for them?
Do you want me to give the advice on the basis of how they should enter?
What type of qualifications or certifications they should be doing according to you?
You know, formal certifications like those from the International Coaching Federation, ICF, which is the world's largest body for coaches. Okay, they have different levels, the ACC level, the PCC level, and the MCC level. So one should always go for these certifications because coaching is not an easy industry. To help one look at the things that even they do not know exist is a hard job, right? So when you go for certifications like the ACC, PCC level certification from International Coaching Federation, you are taught those skills on how to make people identify or look at their blind spots. Then there are associations like International Association of Coaching. उनका भी जो certification है, that is valuable. ठीक है? But for business coaching, what will be most crucial will be a combination of business acumen. आपने अपने आपका business का acumen क्या है, right? How much have you done as a business owner? Though that is not mandatory, but I feel that helps. Your interpersonal skills, because if you're not able to communicate well with the guy who you are sitting with, then all your certifications are going to be of no use. And above all, a genuine desire for others to succeed. That is the most important thing. You should be have that genuine desire कि मेरे सामने वाला इंसान जीते. ठीक है? So I would recommend all the inspiring coaches to gain diverse business experience, develop strong communication skills, and keep on continuously educating yourself on various business models and strategies. Right? So practical experience coupled with theoretical knowledge, I would say, is the winning combination.
Right. So certifications, experience, acumen, interpersonal skills, and willingness to serve others and help others.
Yes.
Could you share some of the rewarding experiences you have had as a business coach, which impacted your client's business, and you felt like I did this?
Yes. since I said just now ki as a coach you should have a genuine desire to see other people succeed. So I once worked with a struggling family owned business. That business was on the brink of closure, right? uh, if not in 1 year, probably by 2 years they would have closed down. But when we started working, at that point the guy didn't even have the courage to tell me that he doesn't know for how long would he be able to pay me, right? But through our coaching sessions we identified the untapped markets for their business. We streamlined their operations and revamped their marketing strategy. And within a year, we not only were able to save the business, but we also were able to expand to new locations. And such, it's incredibly fulfilling to see businesses transform, create more jobs, and positively impact the community. बिजनेस कोचिंग का ना सबसे ग्रेटिफाइंग जो एस्पेक्ट है ना, इट इज सीइंग द पर्सनल ग्रोथ इन बिजनेस लीडर्स फ्रॉम वेयर दे आर टू वेयर दे कम. That growth is something very, very satisfying, right? And seeing them overcome their limitations and becoming more confident decision makers is also very gratifying. And the best part is when you support a business, you are not just supporting a business owner, but you are also supporting those 20, 30, 50, 100, employees.
Exactly.
Times on an average 450 of those families, you are also supporting them, helping them sustain their life. And also जहां पे जाके वो अपना पैसा खर्च करते हैं, तो vicariously आप उनको भी support करो. So that's the most satisfying part of business coaching.
One person getting trained creates a business, and then it becomes a cascade effect, and it keeps on multiplying, just like
Absolutely.
right.
Absolutely.
So that is what is pushing us again and again to do the same thing with n number of coaches and businesses. Do you feel the business landscape is now changing, or is it same as what it was earlier when you started in 2016?
No, it has changed a lot, without any doubt. With the latest technological interventions like AI, the automations, right? Be it through CRMs, through Google Sheets, through WhatsApp automations, things are changing rapidly at a very, very fast rate. और जो सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज है, it is adapting to these technological disruptions. ठीक है? Even after COVID, there has been another problem of trying to manage your remote workforces. And since the markets have opened up a lot, now there are no more local markets. The markets are global. So staying relevant in those global markets is also a challenge, right? So yes, there have been a lot of changes, and it is changing now, I would say, by the hour. एक टेक्नोलॉजी सुबह नहीं थी और शाम को वो डेवलपमेंट तो पहले से भी होती है, बट अब ओपन में आ जाती है बाय द इवनिंग, एंड यू सडनली आर looking at now how to incorporate it into your system.
Right.
So it's changing rapidly. So
So
you have to foster that innovation culture, and you have to build those resilient teams who are able to cope with these changing things which are changing so fast.
So at the business level, the employee mindset should be such that they should be willing to accept the changes coming in the technology rather than saying, no, I'll work with the old ones. That's the team needed right now.
Change is the only constant. Very old quotation, but more than relevant now.
What advice do you want to give to the young professionals who are entering into the career industry? That's the last question, and we want to know from you last 3 advices. If you have more, we can have space for that also.
No, sorry, I didn't get you. आप दोबारा बोलेंगे?
What are the advices you want to give to the young professionals who are entering into this field of work?
So for anyone who is entering this field, any young professional who considers a career in coaching, I would say start with self reflection. Understand your strengths, your passion, and the value you can bring to others. Then gain diverse business experience. जितना varied होगा उतना अच्छा है. Develop your emotional intelligence and listening skills. वो business knowledge के जितने ही important है, rather more important. जितना you should have a knowledge of a diverse businesses, equally or more important is having those emotional intelligence and listening skills. Then find a mentor in the coaching field and never stop learning. Be prepared to invest in yourself and your personal growth. You can never stop learning and stop investing in yourself. The day you do, you are finished. Right? So, as a coach, you are constantly growing yourself and not just advising others. So, keep investing in yourself, is what I would advise aspiring coaches.
Right. So that was a very insightful session, Amit, starting from your own entry into the workforce, your education, and then helping others to create a niche for themselves and creating more employment opportunities and helping young professionals entering into this business. So we thank you for coming over here and sharing your journey with us.
Pleasure is all mine, man. Thank you so much.